Hey guys, just one more opinion piece on FIFA 18. So, yeah, watch me go as keeper, by the way. I'm never really done it before, so I'm pretty shit. Oh, yeah. Okay, what just happened? Yeah, so another final opinion piece with FIFA 18. Just wanted to say that I would be interested to see what they do with, the World Cup, Confederations Cup, all that sort of stuff. If they integrate any of it, obviously it's not a World Cup year, but they could do some kind of World Cup integration, or they'll just wait and use it, when it does roll around. But for international tournaments in general, I'm just wondering when FIFA will just integrate it into their normal game, as opposed to having a separate game for the World Cup, which I can't remember. Yeah, they did do for Brazil, I'm pretty sure. And I definitely had the South African World Cup game. But yeah, it would be interesting just if they actually, focused on the international aspect of football. I feel like because of the popularity of Ultimate Team and how much money they make off it, it'll be very difficult, which is pretty disappointing. But I would like to see them put things like the Asian Cup and the Euros into FIFA. It would be pretty interesting, especially because they could also have the Confederations Cup, which would be like a mini World Cup for a lot of us, and they could work it into, I guess, my career, so that playing internationals and being an international manager actually feels rewarding, as opposed to what it is now, where I'd rather just not have an international team. Because you like to be able to see that the national team's making progress. And I'd also like to see the international aspect of FIFA, improved with players as well. And what I mean by that is I've spoken in a recent video about how Eduardo Vargas is really, really good for the Chilean national team, but for clubs he's never shown up. And I don't know, maybe this is a bit far-fetched, but I wouldn't mind if they actually had traits like that, mental traits, considered, which would also be a bit weird to implement, I guess. But when you think about it, there's players that people know don't show up in big games very often anymore. Like, you can think of players like Sergio Ramos shows up. He scored so many last-minute headers. How many has he scored? It's ridiculous. And in very big games, Champions League finals, it's just crazy. And then you've got players like Ozil, who, when the going does get tough, he disappears a lot of the time, which is pretty disappointing. Very disappointing, actually. You've got players like Higuain who have cracked under pressure, penalties a few times for national team, and then for his club, he didn't really show up in the UEFA Champions League final. But I guess you can't excuse that. That game was very, very caught up in the mids. Modric and Kroos really played well there. So did Casemiro. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I thought that could be brought into the game. I just want to see what FIFA can do. I want them to really branch out and make other aspects of the game interesting again. I know career mode's been pretty bland for a while, and last year, or FIFA 17, was one of the times where they've actually given it a bit more thought, but there's still a long way to go. And I don't want to see them, rest on Ultimate Team, even though it does make them a lot of money, so it makes sense for them to. And yeah, I don't want them to rest on all that sort of stuff and feel like they don't need to improve to the point where PES actually becomes relevant again, because Pro Evolution, let's be honest, hasn't been relevant for a long time. Although it's not as bad as a lot of people say. So yeah, I'd like to hear your opinions. I'd like to hear your opinions, especially on any leagues that you think that they could bring in, any international tournaments, any club tournaments like the Club World Cup. I'm not sure if the Asian Champions League is in the game, because I've never really taken a team from the Asian Confederations, but I don't think you can play in the Asian Champions League. So yeah, even the Copa Libertadores, and the Sudamericana, which I guess are under license with PES, a lot of them are. So yeah, I'd like to see if you see that as a reasonable thing for FIFA to pursue for FIFA 18, just to make the game feel better. And again, as I spoke about in one of my last two opinion piece videos, just whether they can do something with the icons, because quite obviously icons are being brought into FIFA Ultimate Team across all platforms. So I feel like now they could actually have some sort of cool game mode that focuses completely on Legends players. Maybe, I know this would seem a bit crazy, but 2K when they had their Jordan edition game, which I think was either 2K11 or 12. I'm not sure. It's a while ago now. It could have even been 2K14. I'm not certain. But they had basically a game mode where you would jump in and you would play through key moments in his career. And so what I thought, you've all played that iPhone game or that Android game, whatever, mobile game, Score, where you try and score, classic goals. What if you play some of the Icons' classic games? So you play that Zidane game against Leverkusen where he scores that volley and you end up in a situation where you have to score that volley. Or you play the World Cup with Ronaldo, Lima, things like that that cemented these players' careers. I would really love to see that in FIFA 18, although I haven't heard any rumors about that. But I guess this whole focus on icons for all platforms lends itself to that, and I really hope that that takes place. But if you've got any cool ideas for FIFA 18, even though I've obviously got no influence on what the final game's going to look like, if you can, just let me know in the comments down below, and yeah, I'll reply to your comments and we'll see where that goes. Just be very interesting to get like a cool kind of a brainstorm going and see what you guys think of FIFA and where they should head. But yeah, this has been Baha Gaming, and I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you guys real soon.